by UCLA in the home white. Great crowd on a Saturday evening here at Pauley Pavilion. They've been loud for a while. Good CBU turnout as well as they go inside to Lauren Betts right away. Betts tiptoes around, and a jump ball is going to be called. Possession arrow will give it to CBU. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Capital One CBU. They've won 6 in a row. Philippa Barros is the player to watch. Tourney most valuable player in the WAC, Johansson, Schmidt, and Shawnee Nordstrom also in the starting 5 with Lauren Olson.
Schmidt is the only player for CBU who does not shoot the 3. So you see Lauren Betts just parking it in the middle of the court.
Emma Johansson showing no fear, taking it right to the basket for the first 2 points. Here's the starting 5 for UCLA with Kiki Rice, Gabriela Jaquez, Betts in the middle, Gianna Neepkins, Charlize Ledger-Walker making their NCAA tournament debuts with UCLA.
You've seen 2 possessions for UCLA, and Grace Schmidt just playing Lauren Betts one-on-one in the paint.
Neepkins with the step back for 3. Couldn't get it. And Olsen with the rebound. They want to run, and Schmidt took too many steps. Well, we talked to Corey Close at the beginning of the season, and she was prepared for everything. Double team, triple team, throwing everything at Lauren Betts. And you're telling me that CBU is going to go with the one-on-one approach here.
Well, I respect head coach Jared Olsen's decision because he watched that Iowa game in the Big Ten Championship in which UCLA had 34 assists and they made 13 threes, so he's choosing 2s over 3s.
Olsen couldn't get it. Betts has the rebound. UCLA back the other way with Jaquez. Jaquez, strong take to the basket for 2.
And Eric, CBU likes to play with pace, but there's a pace with UCLA's offense. When they can get that defensive rebound, they want to get out and run.
Nordstrom. Olsen. Kiki Rice got in there to knock it away. It will stay with CBU, their head coach, as Christy mentioned. Jared Olsen now in his 14th season, the WAC Coach of the Year for a 4th time. Been quite the journey for California Baptist, going from NAIA to Division II. Now Division I. 3-pointer in the corner from Johansson off the mark. And here comes UCLA with Rice. Neepkins. Experience with Utah in the NCAA tournament. Betts spitting and turning it over. Second turn for UCLA. Here's the timeline of the move from NAIA to D2. Then the 4-year D2 to D1 reclassification process ended in the 2022-2023 season. They won the WBI title in 2023. And here they are in the NCAA tournament.
Well, I asked Jared Olsen about his system, and he said, honestly, it's the kind of system I wanted to play in when I was in college. And so it is about playing with pace and everybody getting an opportunity to shoot the 3.
Here's Barros' second NCAA tournament trip as a Division I program for CBU. Their first trip, they came here to Westwood 2 years ago, lost to UCLA. Grabbed by Jaquez to Rice. Neepkins on the right. Rice will do it herself, but can't finish. Rice tiptoeing on the baseline, picked it up, and a second chance here for the Bruins.
So much length on the floor for UCLA at all 5 positions, whether a Betts is on the floor or not.
Rice will launch a 3. Down she goes, no call. Jaquez followed, no. And a rebound grabbed by Schmidt. See Olsen jumping up on Barros, push it. Barros, number 2 scorer, leading rebounder for CBU.
Well, I like the idea of pushing pace. If you can steal some points in transition instead of having to go against the length of UCLA, that's advantage CBU.
Schmidt working on Ledger-Walker, who gets called for the foul. So Grace Schmidt will go to the free throw line, senior from Ixonia, Wisconsin. Didn't play when CBU was here a couple of years ago in the NCAA tournament, was dealing with an injury. Here she is now, and you will notice at the free throw line, she has a very unique delivery that works. The one-hand free throw.
Well, I asked again Jared Olson about that, and I was like, when did this start this season? He says, I really don't know. All of a sudden we looked down there during practice and she was doing it. And he said, as a good coach would, he's like, you can put the other hand up the guide. And she was like, no. He said, okay, do it your way.
As a great coach would say, you're right.
As long as you make it, you're right.
Keep going. So she comes up with the 2 free throws to put CBU on top by 2. Angela Dugalich gets it to go. Into the game for Lauren Betts as Rice picks up Barros coming across half court. Schmidt looking for the cutter. Olsen went down, but it ended up in the hands of Barros, who knocks down the 3. One feeling we got yesterday being at CBU's practice, they had no fear. They were here for fun. They were here for the experience, but they weren't going to back down or change anything that they had done all season long in going 15-3 in the WAC.
Well, they went through UCLA stuff, but everything was about getting off threes. You see, Barros catches it inside the 2. She pulls herself out to the 3 because this is a team that wants to shoot from that long ball.
Johansson picked up the foul. Here is Jaquez at the free throw line. Last game for UCLA was a stunner. Big Ten tournament title game. They beat Iowa 96-45, shooting 63% from the field. All 9 players who scored shot 50% or better from the floor. As an impressive a performance in a championship game that you'll ever see.
And I gotta believe, in terms of what Corey Close wants from her team, the 34 assists is probably what made her the proudest, because it was just team basketball at its finest.
Barros.
There's the link.
Barros sticks with it, though, throws it off the window for 2. The redshirt junior from Portugal, who's listed at 5'9", is going to win many battles inside, but she's going to be in the fight and get her fair share of rebounds. Just has a nose and a knack for scoring and finding rebounds. Jaquez into the corner. Ledger Walker. Drop down for Sienna Betts, who played really well against Iowa in that championship game. Ledger Walker for 3. Count it. Beating the shot clock.
Charlize Ledger Walker is one of the best point guards in our game that I don't think gets enough credit. Her ball IQ is off the charts.
Nordstrom launches for 3. You cannot ask for much more if you're California Baptist making shots. You're in the fight 5 minutes into the game here at Pauley. Sienna Betts. Dugalich. Ledger Walker. Too strong on the 3. But saved right to Rice. Schmidt let it go, and she just wanted it back in her hands right away.
And Jared Olson immediately tells Schmidt it's okay. She knew as soon as she threw it in that she should not have done that.
Schmidt flips it up, can't get the roll, and a rebound for Kiki Rice.
You're seeing CBU players release, trying to get back in transition defense out of respect for how good UCLA can get out and run.
Betts spinning inside. Great recovery by the nation's leading shot blocker, Emma Johansson. 92 block. Never led by less than double digits in the second half.
I mean, Barros was 2 points away from having a triple-double in that game. I mean, she was deep in her bag in that championship matchup.
Neepkins and the foul. Chance for a three-point play for Gianna Neepkins, the grad student from Duluth, Minnesota.
Well, you knew UCLA just needed a moment to regroup in that timeout, and it was a set play. She got the ball baseline, and it was just ISO for Neepkins, either to have the 3 tight closeout, so she just rips through and gets to the rim.
Foul on Chloe Lemon. Second chance here off the miss. Betts back on the floor. Lauren Betts for the 2. I think coming out of that media timeout, CBU has UCLA's undivided attention. That's the feeling right now. First on the offensive end and now on the defensive end as Rice, active with the hands, knocks it out of bounds.
Well, no Schmidt in the game now for CBU, so the defense for UCLA will slightly change because now all 5 players on the court for CBU can knock down the 3. Basically, that means Betts will be coming out of the paint more.
Barros. Good. Betts extending the defense out to the top of the key. Nordstrom takes it at Lauren Betts. Sienna Betts picks it up. Here comes Kiki.
And Eric, we see this all the time with someone like Lauren Betts. She'll get block shots, but she affects shots. She affected the shots on the other end.
Couldn't get it to go, but a trip to the free throw line coming for Lauren Betts. Coached by Corey Close, now in her 15th season here in Westwood, Big Ten Coach of the Year. The fourth team in Big Ten history to go undefeated in conference play. 18-0 for Corey's team, who went to the Final Four for the first time in their NCAA tournament history a season ago.
And I think that just raised the bar for this program. It's not about getting to the Final Four now. They have higher aspirations, and this team has been on a mission all season long. The offense is better. The defense is better this season.
Betts couldn't get it on the second one. The foul on Johansson, her second.
Barrow stepped in, so Betts will get another free throw.
Lane violation. Now, you would think coming off a 51-point win in the Big Ten Tournament Championship game, winning 25 straight games, that UCLA would be a well-oiled machine, and they are, don't get me wrong, but your takeaway from practice yesterday was Corey Close and their coaching staff not fully satisfied for what they're seeing right now from UCLA.
The number of times I heard, are you intentional about getting better? They were on top, the coaching staff was on top of these players about their individual goals and making sure they were doing everything to not just get through this game, but to thrive and advance. Not survive, but thrive and advance. That's the mission of UCLA right now.
Off the Barros miss, here comes Jaquez with the push. Nordstrom on her defensively, throw it inside to Lauren Betts. Good catch and finish.
Lemon was trying to face front her, just not enough size there. Great lob to Betts inside.
10-0 run right now for UCLA. Barros works it back out to Lemon.
And this is a UCLA team with 6'7" Lauren Betts that's switching all screens because Lauren Betts can contain a guard off the bounce.
Johansson taps it out, 4 on the shot clock. Nordstrom's going to have to launch from deep and drain it with a huge fist pump after that splash. Deepkins, Sienna Betts was calling for it, gets it in deep. Trying to find her big sister, Lauren, couldn't get it. And here comes Nordstrom back the other way quickly. Sophia Alonso in the game for CBU. She kicked it out, but off the miss, UCLA's got it. Inside of 90 seconds to go in the first quarter. And that's going to be 3 on Johansson.
Well, out of transition, Lauren Betts starts sealing immediately. Undersized guards fronting her. The weak side's coming, but way too late. Great lob. And then Nordstrom realizes shot clock's getting skinny. Step back to create the space to get the shot off.
So CBU rolled the dice. Emma Johansson, their senior post. Jared Olson knowing she needs to be on the floor when UCLA is trying to pull away. But she picks up her 3rd personal foul. So Paula Hall will check into the game. Junior from Munich who played at Sacramento State, number 21. This is her 10th appearance of the season. Betts has scored UCLA's last 7 points. Pressure in the backcourt from the Bruins. Alonso. Hand off to Lemon. Alonso tried to feed it inside. Betts said no. Hand it off to Ledger Walker. Betts will try it from deep. And a foul is going to be called on CBU on the push of Dugalich.
Dugalich, as soon as Betts got into her shooting pocket, immediately started working for that inside rebounding position and had it, and that's why CBU had nothing to do but foul. Betts with the shot. You see at the lower part of your screen, Dugalich with the spin move to get the inside position, and then there's the shove in the back.
First foul on Olsen. UCLA attempted just 5 free throws against Iowa. 3 for 5 in that game.
Because it was layups or threes.
Exactly. Final minute, first quarter. Olsen. pull up on the baseline off the mark from Chance Bucher. And a foul's going to be called on UCLA.
Ledger Walker's going to get called for the push in the back.
That's her second.
One thing CBU is doing well right now, they're getting the first step in dribble penetration, and that's forcing some rotations by UCLA. That's why they're getting some of these looks from the outside.
Neepkins takes it away. Here's Ledger Walker on the floor with the two personals. Neepkins lobs it inside. Great adjustment by Hawkes for two.
And that's something we're seeing more and more in the last month, are the guards posting up for UCLA.
Olsen, the WAC Freshman of the Year, defended by Neepkins. Shot clock off, game clock inside of 10. Olsen lost the handle, and last touched by UCLA. It'll be CBU ball with 4.2 to go in the quarter. Ledger Walker will check out with the two fouls as Rice comes on. Ledobilic would come on for UCLA for these final seconds for Neepkins.
I think this is a stall tactic right now by UCLA, sending Bill all the way to the middle so they can check the iPad.
Well, we got double stall going on because we had Dugalich taking a long time to tie her shoe, but there's not going to be an appeal.
This is a veteran ball club. That's what UCLA is.
That's right. No appeal, though. Johansson out there with the three fouls for the final possession of the quarter. Turned it over. Rice, that's too late. And that will do it for the first quarter.
For the better part of the season, for the 4 number 1 seeds.
That's the one on the floor here. Big Ten player and defensive player of the year. All-tourney team. And announced this week as an AP first-team All-American for a second consecutive year. Second quarter begins. UCLA with the possession. Bucher defending Dugalich.
Trying to get a cross screen for Betts. Let's let her go one-on-one.
Turning inside for two. UCLA with a strong finish after falling behind 12-9 past the midway point of the first quarter. There's Olsen, shoots it over Betts. Can't get it. Dugalich with the rebound. Fired into Betts, looking to score again on the inside. That won't drop, but Betts doesn't quit. Into double figures with 11.
6 offensive rebounds already for UCLA, and they're making the most of it with 10 second chance points.
Barros, Schmidt. Betts altered that shot. Off to the corner, three-pointer is good. Chance Bucher had 19 points on senior night. Great performance in Riverside. Comes up with her first points here in the NCAA tournament. Rice comes up short. She rips down another UCLA rebound. Barros has it. Looks to push. Bucher will head to the free throw line.
It was the cross screen for Betts, and it's one-on-one. You see her ripping face up, but then she feels it's the tremendous footwork at 6'7" that just had me in awe. She's patient, she's poised, and she's just really, really good in all facets of the game right now. Face up or back to the basket.
Foul on Hawkes, her first. And Bucher at the free throw line. From Half Moon Bay. 1 of 2. 5 different scores for CBU.
And you see how UCLA can space a floor because Betts can also face. They can space the floor also because they have tremendous three-point shooting.
Back to Betts again, one-on-one defensively from CBU, but Betts can't hit the turnaround. Quick pull by Nordstrom for 3. Betts has her 5th board. Rice to Hawkes. Lost the handle. Last touch, though, by CBU, UCLA basketball.
You see the pace for CBU. They want to get a defensive rebound, and they want to go and look for threes. For UCLA, when they get the defensive rebound, they're looking to either get that open three or get a high percentage look at the rim.
Neepkins. That won't drop. Barrows has the rebound. Bucher on the pull-up for two.
That's a great screen by Schmidt to get Bucher open on the weak side.
Good job by CBU to answer back here in the second quarter. Rice uses the Betts screen. Good defense by CBU. Betts. And one. Chance for a three-point play, Lauren Betts.
Well, if CBU gets caught in rotation, this is where UCLA's feasting on the offensive glass. Off the high on ball screen, Kiki Rice gets downhill, and you see how three people just turn and look. Betts comes in from the high post area, rips down that offensive rebound.
Bucher, Sienna Betts into the game. Bucher, how about the confidence from Chance Bucher, averaging 6 points a game on the season. She's got 8. She has scored the last 8 for CBU.
Schmidt's going to get called for a push in the back of Betts as Betts was trying to post up. Chance Bucher gets the handoff and just turns because she recognizes the post is on her, so she turns on the jets and gets all the way to the rim.
So Schmidt to the bench with her second foul. Johansson's on the bench with 3.
So this makes a small CBU team even smaller now on the court.
Rayleigh Hess, freshman from Colorado, will come into the game.
CBU playing off Sienna Betts when she's around the perimeter.
Paula Hall back on as well. Foul is going to be called on Bucher. .6:22 to go in the second quarter. 7-point game in this 1 versus 16 matchup. 1 seeds in the first rounds have a record of 126-1 all time in the tournament. Rice knocks it down. That's a good winning percentage. Don't need to do the math.
But you're saying there's a chance.
Rice going to get called for the foul right in front of the UCLA bench.
I'm enjoying watching Barrows and Jared Olson's interactions because they are talking anytime there's a stoppage of play, just trading what one another's seeing to try to get some points on the board for the CBU team.
Lauren Betts to the bench. Amanda Muse on for the Bruins. Barrows, a little off balance for 2.
I want to say it again, pound for pound, inch for inch, one of the most exciting players in the women's game. She just never stops. Her motor is absolutely incredible.
Now trying to keep up with Kiki Rice. Neepkins could fake to get open, but can't hit the 2. Great tip by Muse just into the game. Muse in her 20th game of the season, averaging 1.5 points a game. Nordstrom, kick to the corner. Hess, the freshman, with the 3 on the way, couldn't get it. Good job on the boards, good positioning, and it's last touched by UCLA. That was Barrows in the middle of things, and it'll be CBU. Thank you, ladies. Out of the media timeout, it's turnover for CBU. Roger Walker back on the floor for UCLA.
I was going to say, I like the action, just unfortunate for the turnover for CBU.
Betts off the miss. Here's Barrows. Kick to the corner. 3 is going to be short. Muse couldn't save it. She was on the baseline. It'll be CBU basketball. Greg Schmidt coming back on for CBU. CC Legaspi is coming on for the first time, sophomore out of Idaho. As CBU trying to really use that bench right now. They've been forced to use it a little bit too with the foul trouble. Lauren Olson gets her first points.
And this is where for UCLA right now, just patience and execution. Get the matchup you want, and you have the size advantage, so get down low and take advantage of it.
Great job by Chance Bucher. Blow up that play, and a foul is called on UCLA.
Chance Bucher's just playing at another level. She jumps that little dribble handoff, and what they called was an illegal screen on Muse on the handoff.
Here's Schmidt. Schmidt inside out, three-pointer, no good. Sienna Betts with the rebound. Lauren Betts on the bench right now for UCLA. Here's Neepkins. Ledger Walker with 2 first-half fouls. Sienna Betts on the boards. And guess who's got her hands in there? Bucher again for the tie-up. Position arrow will give it to the Lancers.
Just great effort right now by Chance Bucher. She's everywhere. She's doing a little bit of everything for the Lancers.
Just a 7-point deficit for California Baptist. They have the basketball. Lauren Betts still on the bench.
What's impressive to me for CBU is the threes that they're getting. They're not forced, but they're inside out. They're off dribble penetration and kick. They just need more of them to go down.
Sienna Betts called for the personal, and that will send Schmidt to the free throw line. So the senior, all-WAC second-team selection, will head back to the line after making a couple of free throws earlier. Foul called on Sienna Betts was her first. Can't drop that one for the 6th straight year. Every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com. One of 2 for Grace Schmidt. She has 3. Bucher leading the way with 8. Lauren Betts leading all scorers with 14. Dugalich back on the floor for UCLA. Entry to Betts, and Sienna puts it in for 2. Coming off a great game against Iowa, went for a career high 14 points, 7 boards, 5 assists, no turnovers in 18 minutes in the Big Ten Tournament Championship game. Bucher launching for another. Can't get it this time. Good hands by Barros to knock it away from Dugalich.
Now, does Barros get a steal or an offensive rebound for that one?
Both.
Okay.
You're a big fan. You're controlling the scores.
I love effort.
Schmidt with the effort and the putback for 2. CBU down by 6. Lauren Betts at the scores table. Here's her sister Sienna. Back to Rice. Rice has her shot blocked by Barros, but a foul is called on Felipa Barros.
I mentioned a moment ago that I want to see UCLA get the ball inside, and so it was a set play. You see the screen and then just the roll by Sienna Betts, and you see her getting into the defender's body, just patient, and then kisses it off the glass.
Kiki Rice to the free throw line. Betts' sisters on the floor together. Lauren is back in, as you saw.
Corey Close going extremely big now. Dugalich at the 3, Sienna Betts in with her sister.
First one good for Kiki, as we mentioned before, the most outstanding player of the Big Ten tournament. 15 points, 8 assists, 3 steals in the title game. 3rd team AP All-American, as announced this past week. She has 6 points, 3 boards, and an assist. Bucher pulls for 3. 3 more. Chance Bucher makes it a 5-point game. 5 for 13 as a team for CBU from beyond the arc. That's far from the basket here. Looking to set a screen up top. Rice, tough shot. Sienna Betts with the rebound. She'll try from outside. Dugalich uses the reach to get the putback.
If you're going to go big, UCLA, pound the ball inside with this big lineup.
Neepkins on the blow by. The three-pointer off the mark. Bucher, who else, gets the rebound. And a foul is called, which will send Olsen to the free throw line.
Well, Chance Bucher just sizes up, steps back just to create the space for her second made 3 of the game. And Dad just has that all-knowing nod. And, yeah, that's my kid.
Rick in dad/fan mode instead of broadcasting mode. Although if we put a headset on him right now, I'm sure he'd have plenty of good things to say about his daughter, who has been outstanding off the bench. Olsen at the free throw line, off the mark on the first.
What I love about Chance Bucher's game is she just hunts shots. She gets on the court and she knows it's her opportunity to make things happen, and she takes advantage of it.
11 points this quarter and for the game for Chance Bucher. Again, averaged 6 points a game, but had 19 in the home finale on senior night in Riverside. Final minute of the second quarter. Lots of traffic, bodies go down, and out of the scramble, Jaquez gets 2.
Jared Olsen asked Barrows to slow down just so he could give the official an earful. That's the only time this team has slowed down the pace.
How about this from outside? That was Haw, who has scored 13 points this season, trying to hit from 3. UCLA will hold for 1. Rice, Lauren Betts, back to Rice. Rice, tough shot. She'll go to the line with 6.3 to go. Gatsby picks up the personal as Kiki Rice will go to the line. Johansson will come on for the final CBU possession. Remember, she's got 3 fouls.
Jared Olsen just going all offense right here just to steal 3 points. And I say 3 because this is CBU.
You know what's coming. Another one to come for Rice. She's got 8. UCLA should bring a little pressure here to try to slow CBU down. But first substitution as Nordstrom will come into the game. And here's the pressure. Barros. Olsen launches for 3. And that comes up short. Half a second to go in the half.
UCLA is just going to get this ball inbound and head to the locker room.
And that is it for the first half. So it turns out to be a 10-point lead. It's underway. Jaquez gets the handoff, takes off to the basket. Aggressive take for 2. She's in the double figures with 10. Neepkins on the reach. Gets called for the foul.
This is just a sideline out of bounds play for UCLA out of the locker room, and it just pass and cut immediately because so many times the inbound defender looks at the ball. Jaquez got the advantage and got the points.
Second foul on Neepkins. Corey Close was very upset with her team defensively, though. You had the feeling like this is exactly what we talked about in the locker room a few minutes ago, and then you didn't do it on the defensive end. So she's a little hot on the sideline. Here's Jaquez. Rice. Good defense by CBU. Nordstrom comes away with it. Johansson Her time limited in the first half due to 3 fouls. Barros. Plenty of time on the shot clock.
Schmidt wanted that ball. She had to seal in the paint.
She's got it now. She's caught pretty deep and draws a foul on Jaquez. That's 2 on Jaquez. Early entry for Dugalic. She'll come in for Neepkins. That's one that Corey Close wasn't too happy with.
I think it's the defense piece of it, because yesterday she was challenging Neepkins about being intentional with getting better defensively, and then the blow-by. So quick hook for the veteran player.
Schmidt. Largest lead of the game, 12 for UCLA. That's where we are right now. They led by 12 briefly in the first half. Rice, Dugalic, too strong. Has her miss, threw it into Betts. Quickly back the other way, Schmidt, but look who's back quickly defensively, Betts. Betts on the switch, defending Barros. Johansson. Jaquez with a good defense. Batted around, picked up by Rice, in for 2. Timeout called by California Baptist.
But this young lady sets a heck of a screen as well. And to this point in the season, it's still one of my favorite memories, is her scoring and just stopping to dance in the middle of the court.
Her teammates loved it. That was part of one of 2 trips WBCA showcase for UCLA. Their second trip to Las Vegas was their only loss of the season. That came against Texas. I'm sure Megan's watching back in Jersey, part of that 3-game series for UCLA against Rutgers. Rooting on her basketball teammates.
I mean, there's 2 sport athletes, but are there athletes who have a chance to win 2 national titles?
Ooh, good point. Jaquez to the free throw line for UCLA. Foul on Nordstrom, her second.
So much talk about Kiki Rice as well as Lauren Betts, but Gabrielle Jaquez is having a tremendous season. Career highs in points, in field goal percentage, in 3-point field goal percentage, as well as her free throw percentage.
Really worked hard before this season on improving her shot. 41% from beyond the arc, starter last season. That's the thing with this team. This is an experienced team that returned 4 key players who played in the Final Four last year, and they added Ledger Walker and Neepkins. 3-pointer on the way is good. Dugalic for 3, timeout CBU. Nothing run to start the quarter for UCLA. Gets the steal and the assist. And out of the CBU timeout, into Barros, and pressure in the backcourt with the trap. UCLA really turning up the defensive intensity. CBU across half court with it, with Alonso.
Well, I like this move by UCLA. 1, get yourself going defensively, but 2, you've struggled to contain the dribble penetration in the half court of CBU, so try not to let them get into it.
Jaquez gets called for the foul. Chance Bucher is on the floor for CBU. She had the big first half with 11. Flipped up and in for 2. Sofia Alonso, junior from Spain, gets her first points. Into Betts. Betts, unstoppable one-on-one when she gets in that deep.
Well, she went out of transition and buried her defender to have that clear positioning. A little more activity by UCLA right now defensively.
Dialing it up. There's Rice getting the deflection, the steal. Betts for Rice. Ledger Walker, good catch. But then a turnover.
She telegraphed that one.
Nordstrom shoots it over Betts. Can't get the three, and the rebound for Dugalic. Rice on the push. Rice all the way, flipped it up, and will head to the free throw line. Schmidt picks up her third personal foul, and Rice going back to the free throw line, 4 for 4 at the stripe today. Second one coming. Coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship continues on CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. For tournament game times and networks, go to NCAA.com. One of the big showdowns tomorrow will be UCLA and UConn. The winner on to the Sweet 16.
Dugalic is just a utility player for UCLA. Gets called for that bump there, but you've seen her switch out on the guards. She's had quality minutes, doing a good job on the glass. She can handle the ball and obviously can knock down the threes we saw a moment ago.
6th player of the year in the Big Ten. Corey Close has said she needs to be our X factor each game. Can she find that next level to contribute to this UCLA team in their pursuit of back-to-back trips to the Final Four?
They're going to get Kiki Rice with a foul. Schmidt was posting up.
I think the CBU bench is asking the officials to perhaps talk it over, maybe go to the monitor, thinking there was some contact to the head here. Doesn't look like that's happening. Maybe it will. Jared Olson could be pretty persuasive by the looks of it.
And I think he has persuaded them.
So for the moment, personal foul is called on Rice. Get an announcement here.
The call on the floor is a common foul, UCLA number 1. Go into review a potential upgrade.
So you saw from the bench for CBU, quite a few players and coaches were saying that there was, Kiki Rice got the hand up there to make the contact on Schmidt.
So for it to be upgraded, it needs to be unnecessary, hard, and or excessive. Oh, it's that left hand.
Well, the thing that I think could be a determining factor, correct me if I'm wrong, Rice kind of closed the hand a little bit as she wrapped around. It wasn't like there's contact, I got to pull that hand away right away, that there was almost a bit of a extra push there. So this could go to a flagrant 1. The officials continue to take turns at the monitor.
To me, it's that word excessive. And to your point, Eric, I agree. Like, was she trying to pull it away, and that's why it closed down on the face.
Officials going to huddle up here, talk it over. Julie Krolenhoek, Sean Martin, Brad Schmidt with the discussion. Again, for now, personal foul on Kiki Rice. Potential upgrade here being discussed.
After review, the call on the floor stands. Common foul on white number 1. Blue 33 will shoot 2 shots for the bonus.
So just the 2 free throws coming for Grace Schmidt. Schmidt is studying perseverance. 2nd team all-conference selection this year. Missed the first 10 games with an injury, battled injury throughout her career. As I mentioned before, didn't play against UCLA here in the NCAA tournament a couple of years ago. I think you can tell the connection, closeness of this CBU team on senior day. Jared Olson had the microphone post-game talking to the crowd and was talking about how much Grace Schmidt had been through and how hard she had worked to continue to play. And he was in tears. She was in tears. Everybody on the bench was in tears.
It's what's great about women's basketball when you see these players that have been in a program, the connections, not just with their teammates, but also with their coaching staff.
Pass too hot for Sienna Betts to handle. Turnover by UCLA. Nordstrom's runner won't go. Betts with the rebound. Rice on the push. And she'll go back to the free throw line. 6 for 6 at the line today. Kiki with a couple of more coming up.
Well, give Angela Dugalich, I mean, she just kind of stopped in the middle of the paint and set. I'm not sure if she meant to set the screen, but that's the step that Rice needed to get that shot off and draw the foul.
Alonso picks up her first. Schmidt and Bucher check out. Lemon and Johansson on for CBU. UCLA's got 60 on the board, up by 24. Kiki Rice, 4-year starter for this UCLA team. You can see the latest WNBA mock draft. Lauren Betts, Gianna Neepkins, Kiki Rice, Gabrielle Jaquez. 4 in the top 15 at the moment, as projected.
Some pretty good talent for UCLA. A lot of experienced talent for UCLA.
Johansson inside for 2. First points in the second half for Ebba Johansson. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Neepkins on the pull-up for 2.
Barros was trying to go over the top because of Neepkins' ability to hit the 3, and she just got caught up. Good read by Neepkins.
Barros, quick shot, won't drop. Rice with the rebound. Kicks it over to Neepkins. Neepkins, transition 3, no. Sienna Betts kept it alive. And now Rice will bring it back out. Ledger Walker. Neepkins. Back for Rice. 2 on the shot clock. Rice gets it back. That's not going to be off in time. A shot clock violation. 1 pass too many for UCLA, and that's a turnover for the Bruins.
But what a pass by Charlize Ledger Walker. Just unfortunate, second too late.
Lauren Betts back on as Dugalich heads off.
CBU is so good at a transition and getting into their three-point action immediately. Have struggled a little bit when they've had to go against the set defense of UCLA.
Betts tracked one player, then got the block on another player, and turned that block into points on the other end.
And then gave the applause at half court as her teammate scored.
When you look at her as the defensive player of the year in the Big Ten, maybe the Naismith National Defensive Player of the Year for a second straight year. It's not just getting out blocking shots. I mean, she can just track so many players. Again, she does it. But affects the shot for Alonso.
Eric, and it's not just the block shots. It's how many shots she affects with her length. We've seen it countless times in this game tonight.
It's a turnover. But it's also, too, you can look at the blocks, but her footwork, her quickness under the basket. Look at how she's tracking one, switches on another, gets the block, starts the break, and they score on the other end.
In that Iowa game, they switched 1 through 5 against Iowa's offense. And Betts was matched up with point guards, off guards, and they were trying to take her off the bounce, and they could not have success. I was so impressed with Betts' ability to get in a stance and defend away from the rim.
I mean, when Corey Close says she can defend anyone in the country, that's no joke. I mean, it's guards, it's posts, you name it, she can guard everybody.
Well, I
trip to the line coming.
I asked Corey that yesterday. I said, how important is it Betts' versatility in defending away from the basket improved your defense? She said she's always been elite at that. We around her have just been better this year to where it's making a bigger impact on the defensive end.
Actually be a baseline inbound for UCLA. Neepkins, been a quiet game, but maybe starting to make a little noise. She's got 7. And it's a 30-point lead for UCLA. They have outscored CBU 24 to 4 here in this quarter. Barros can't answer. Sienna Betts with the rebound. Neepkins lobs it in to Lauren Betts for 2 more. She's got 20. 9th time this year she's gone for 20 or more. It was a 10-point game at halftime. It's not a 10-point game anymore. Johansson can't get it. He's got the rebound. That 3 is off the mark from Lemon. It'll be UCLA basketball.
Defense has been better in this second half, and so they've gotten the stops, and then they're out and running. Watch Betts out of transition, get the position, keep the defender on her backside for the easy lob into her and score.
8 of 13 from the field, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. The 2 assists give her 100 on the number for the season. She had 92 a season ago. Looks for another one here, and will get it. Village with the 3. That means 9 Bruins have scored here tonight. Nordstrom, that 3 won't drop. The rebound for Amanda Muse. Neepkins behind the back. And that was off of Nordstrom. It'll be UCLA basketball.
UCLA's been really good on baseline out of bounds as well as sideline out of bounds execution here in this second half.
Legaspi and Barros back on for CBU. Ledger Walker took a little long for that pass to get into Neepkins, so it's taken away by CBU. Transition 3 on the way. That won't drop. Betts has the rebound with 1:08 to go in the third.
Hughes was posting up and wanting the ball. Betts is like, no, get out of the way. We got 2-man action, me and Neepkins.
Off to Betts. Betts leans in, can't get it to drop. Batted around and last touched by UCLA. CBU basketball with 49.5 to go in the quarter. Kiki Rice back on. Ledger Walker will check out. Barros looking to take Betts off the dribble. Kicks to the corner. 3-pointer won't drop. Betts with the rebound. UCLA can hold for 1.
Corey Close directing traffic right now, getting the play set and getting the players where she wants in order to execute.
Rice for Neepkins. Inside, help comes. There's when 3 defensive players were around Lauren Betts.
I would have loved to see a pass fake there before that ball went in.
5 on the shot clock for UCLA. 6.7 on the game clock. Neepkins will launch for 3. Couldn't get it. Muse kept it alive. Rice picks it up with 2. With .3, she'll go to the free throw line.
Smart play by Kiki Rice, realizing she checked the clock to see how much time and then just jumped into the defender to get that foul.
A dominating quarter for the #1 seed in the Sacramento 2 region, UCLA. Kiki Rice, 9 for 9 at the free throw line. As a team, UCLA is 18 of 21. They will close the quarter on a 14-0 run. At LSU, which was the showdown in the Elite 8 to determine a team going out to the Final Four a season ago. But Texas Tech is a team that is so much improved, one of the better teams in the Big 12 this year, so that'll be tomorrow on ABC.
There's going to be a lot of well-dressed coaches on the sidelines in that game. I'll be tuned in. Just how much sparkles, $1 million question.
On the drive, a foul before the shot is called on UCLA. Maryland and UNC will get things going noon Eastern time. ABC games tomorrow, NC State and Michigan. Camille Pierre, her 22nd double-double in that NC State win over Tennessee. Michigan's had a great season. We talked about Texas Tech and LSU. How about Flau'Jae Johnson? She goes for 20 again. That's the 6th time in her NCAA tournament history she's gone for 20 in a game. She has been an elite performer in her career, but especially come tournament time.
It'll be interesting because that'll be her last game in the PMAC tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be a lot of emotions.
Bucher got hit hard. Up around the bridge of the nose, it would appear. Village picks up the foul.
Bucher just going up for that ball, and yeah, Village got her across the face.
The winner that emerges from here Monday night in this Los Angeles region will take on the winner of the Ole Miss Minnesota game tomorrow. Minnesota had a strong 4th quarter to knock off Green Bay in round 1. Count that for 3.
First 3 for CBU since halftime.
They were 0 for 9 on threes in the 3rd. Jaquez on the drive and the foul. This game will wrap things up in round 1 with round 2 given up tomorrow. Barros on the glass. Can't get the putback. Rice comes away with it. Barros still looking for a steal. And here comes Dugalich.
I go back to what Corey Close said yesterday. Are you intentional in trying to improve? I think that's what this 4th quarter will be about for UCLA. Not playing the scoreboard, but doing the little things correctly to move forward in a positive manner.
Rice lost the handle, ripped away by CBU, kept in play by Bucher on the sideline. Barros flips it up. Schmidt, good defense and a tie-up. Not called. Looked like there was a tie-up, but they play on.
Great closeout by Dugalich.
Nordstrom's 3 off the mark, and Dugalich has the rebound. Tipped out of play. It'll be UCLA basketball with 12 on the shot clock. Ledger Walker coming into the game. Christina Caramuzzi comes on for the first time. Freshman steps on the floor in the NCAA tournament for the first time. Jaquez sets for 3. Won't drop. Dugalich with the follow. Double-double for Angela Dugalich on that trip. 10 and 10 tonight.
Again, she just does so many little things that are so important to this UCLA team.
Schmidt kicks it out to Olsen. Extra pass. Nordstrom fed inside Schmidt. Dugalich grabs it again. Dugalich steps into a 3. Can't get it and gets called for the foul. That will get her a seat on the bench, and Sienna Betts will check into the game.
Dugalich knew it too. As soon as she committed the foul, she knew she was coming out.
Gonna slow walk it before she bumps into Corey Close. A little silent treatment, I think, from Corey.
That's the veteran player. She just keeps walking. That's when you also know you're a veteran. Head coach doesn't need to say anything because both parties know.
Ledger Walker with the rebound. Charlize back on the court for an NCAA tournament game. Her first tournament game since 2023 when she played with Washington State. Sienna Betts can't hit it. Olsen batted away by Betts. CBU basketball, 6:01 to go in the 4th.
What I appreciated with Sienna Betts' transition defense is that she didn't run to the paint there. She understands the opponent, that they're spotting up for 3, so she ran towards that passing lane and was able to knock it out of bounds.
course, Sienna's UCLA debut was delayed by injury in the preseason. Took her a while to get on the court. Still working up to speed. And as a freshman on this veteran team, we talked to Lauren Betts about it yesterday, big sister. It's challenging, not just the injury and having your development delay, but trying to fit in with a group of seniors and veterans who have been together for a little while.
And two of the hardest positions to transition to college, point guard and post play, because of the physicality. And so she missed some much needed time for a freshman, but very impressed with how quickly she's been ramping up her pace of play to get ready.
Schmidt picks up her fourth. Flau'Jae is at the free throw line. There is Betts with the rebound and the putback, can't get it. Stuck with it and got two.
You just see the overall size and how it's been wearing on CBU this second half, as well as the depth of UCLA. CBU does not go very deep. They've played so hard, but just a step slower here in the second half than they were in that first.
Had that 12-9 lead midway through the first quarter. They were down 8 after 1. It was a 10-point UCLA at halftime, but the third quarter, UCLA came out at a different level of intensity on the offensive and defensive ends of the floor. Outscored CBU 31-4 in the quarter. Inside of 5 minutes to go in the fourth. Flipped up and in by Betts. Olsen, Barros, Euchre, little floater, won't drop down. And here comes Jaquez. Hand off to Ledger Walker. Inside of 4 minutes to go in the fourth. Ledger Walker for three. Knee injury with Washington State on this floor, January 2024. Didn't play last year. And she has been an impactful player for UCLA this year. Most importantly, with her leadership. Bucher couldn't handle it.
I think she adds a level of defense too, just because she's so savvy and smart. She knows angles. She knows how to bait offenses into passes that she can just steal.
Knows how to feed the post. Sienna Betts. Timeout called by Corey Close. She wants to make some substitutions. I know you were most impressed. We can look at the numbers and talk about how great she is defensively. Her story in the Players Tribune this past week about her battle with depression and pulling through that and all the things she's had to go through. We can't encourage you enough to find it and read it. They'll make you appreciate her, what she does, not just as a player, but as a person, even more.
Male, female, young, old, athlete, non-athlete, it is that impactful. Just how vulnerable Lauren Betts was, how real she was about her struggles. And what I love most is kind of teammate she is as well, is that she wanted to tell her story to help other people. And also hats off to her mother, because the support that Lauren Betts received from her family during that trying time was remarkable, but also her teammates and coaching staff.
She and her sister sharing a laugh coming up the court. Lauren, the big sister, could have been getting a little dig in there. It's like, you know, Santa, how many shots you want at the basket before, you know, it goes in here, because she came up empty. There's Ledger Walker with the rebound. 2:20 to go here in the fourth. It will be UCLA and Oklahoma State. They find Sienna again, and she's in the double figures now with 10.
But little sister has learned from big sister, because she sprinted the floor as soon as she knew her teammate had that defensive rebound, and she got this positioning. And she said, big sister, you got to face up. 5
Bruins in double figures now, as Barros inside of 2 minutes to go. To Schmidt. Schmidt realizes Ledger Walker is the defender, not Lauren Betts, but that's not easy. Nothing has come easy for CBU here in the second half against this UCLA team. CBU 3 of 31 from the field since halftime. Remember, it was a 10-point game at halftime. Betts inside 2 more. 22 now for Lauren Betts. Timeout called by UCLA just to get these substitutions in, and it will be Lauren Betts and Gianna Neepkins heading out to a standing ovation here at Pauley. Tonight on SportsCenter, first round wrap-up. Some wild endings, both the women's and men's tournament. And Kevin Durant passing MJ. Tell me more. Coming up on SportsCenter. Also, CBU getting their veterans out. Emma Johansson, the senior, out of the game. Grace Schmidt comes off the floor. They're hugging. You can see at the top of your screen as they come off for a final time. What a performance by CBU. Now, this is their last season in the WAC after 8 years. They'll be in the Big West starting next season, but this is it for Bucher and Johansson and Schmidt.
You never want your career to end, but I think for CBU, the WAC championship and just turning a season around, a 6-game losing streak, and they come back from Christmas and they have a reset and they go on to win both the regular season and tournament championship of the WAC. Hats off to CBU and the legacy left by these seniors.
Ledger Walker flips it in for 2. And they were thrilled to be here. Jared Olson, the head coach, said he was a huge UCLA fan, watched them all the time. Barros said they love the way they play, happy to get a chance to play against them. They got UCLA's best shot certainly in that second half.
Well, just to watch players walk in, and this was all 4 teams yesterday when they came in for practice, taking the pictures of this majestic arena and just the awe and the glee that they felt to be here on the big stage.
Marta De La Fuente, freshman from Spain, on the floor. Alea Harmon on as well for CBU. But now UCLA will dribble it out. Great crowd on a Saturday night to their feet. And they'll be back here on Monday night. A spot in the Sweet 16 on the line when Oklahoma State takes